Good morning and welcome into the Cowboys Report. I am Tom Downey. Cooper Rush is back as a member of the Dallas Cowboys, happening on St. Patrick's Day, no less. So I wore a little bit of green, a light green, of course, to be a bit festive. So Rush is back on a 2-year deal worth up to $6 million. Michael Gelkin reports that the fully guaranteed number is $2.75 million in 2023. My assumption would be some of that's base salary guaranteed, some of that's signing bonus as well. It's not really going to be a full $6 million. There's some incentives in there, in the event, knock on wood, that your quarterback goes down, Rush gets to play. He'll probably end up getting some more money if he meets various thresholds, yards, games, snaps, whatever it ends up being. So not really going to be 6. I wouldn't be surprised it's more like 2 years, 5-ish. And if the fully guaranteed number is just the same for this lifetime of the deal, you could probably get out of it if you needed to after year 1. So a fairly cheap deal to re-sign as the Dallas Cowboys backup quarterback. I'm not overly surprised. We'd made the comments on some of our live shows that the longer Rush went without being signed, the better chance he would end up back here as a member of the Cowboys organization. So that doesn't surprise me too much. Yes, we're doing an at-home video. It's technically my off day, but this business, there are no real off days. But baby Olivia doesn't feel very good either, so just a quick little at-home to break down the Cooper Rush signing news. We'll still have more videos for you guys throughout the week. Make sure you are subscribed when there is Cowboys news. We will break it down, even if it looks a little boring and less fun without the graphics on that front there. So Rush is back, a 2-year deal worth up to $6 million. I don't have many complaints about this. This locks in your 3 quarterbacks from last year for now are also back. Dak Prescott, of course, not going anywhere. Cooper Rush is not going anywhere. Will Grier may not be going anywhere. You could move on from him. That would probably be more of a training camp, preseason type of departure, maybe roster cut down time, especially if you end up drafting someone, which we'll go more in depth on here near the end of today's show. But in the meantime, grade the re-signing of Cooper Rush. A, B, C, D, or F. It's going to be the pinned comments on today's video. So an ad break comes here on YouTube. Take advantage of it. Head down in that comment section and let me know. A, B, C, D, or F. Rush did go 4-1 as the Cowboys starter last year. Really did help save the season. I am perfectly fine to admit I was wrong. He exceeded everybody's expectations, helped save that Cowboys season, even though it didn't end the way we wanted it to. 4-1 as the Cowboys starter. It looked like, with as bad as the offense looked in week 1, oh no, here we go. All of our concerns were realized. We're going to fall apart. We're going to win 5 games. Season's over. Well, Rush really helped keep the Cowboys in that playoff mix by taking care of the ball for the most part up until the bad game against Philadelphia. He completed 58% of his passes for over 1,000 yards, 6.5 average, 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. It was for what the expectations were, for what the role is. He exceeded those expectations, and I do want to be very positive in that standpoint with what Cooper Rush was able to do. When he's had chances to play football games, he's exceeded expectations time and time again. He's 5-1 in his career as a starter. It is also fair to point out that the defense really helps carry them. And I think the contract Cooper Rush got from the Cowboys, and thus saying the contract he didn't get from other NFL teams, I think it is indicative of the lack of a market that Rush had, which, again, it shouldn't really be a surprise. I think that the win-losses are great. The backup quarterback stuff is all great, but no one was going to make Cooper Rush their starter. And I think there were teams hesitant to pay backup money, at the same level of maybe a Taylor Heineke would have gotten, which, I think Rush is probably just as good as Taylor Heineke. Both do benefit sometimes from just some luck of the Irish going their way. But I have no complaints about re-signing Cooper Rush on this contract. So what is your one-word reaction to re-signing Cooper Rush? Sound off for me in the comment section. My one word is solid. Depth. Backup is the cheater answer, I suppose. There, you kept finding a way to keep your number 2 quarterback, keeping your quarterback room intact. I think you got to remember what the backup quarterback The other big unknown element beyond like stepping in and playing games is helping your starting quarterback prepare throughout the week, helping him be ready, going over defense, being highly intelligent. There's a reason why a lot of backup quarterbacks end up being quarterback coaches around the NFL, right? I mean, look how quickly Josh McCown, how fast Davis Webb got to ascend to the role. Look at Jason Garrett, Scott Tolzien is now your quarterback's coach here in Dallas. Those guys have to be really good at being kind of like the link between the starter and the coaches at certain times, being able to help identify, help prepare, help in game out there. That backup quarterback role is very valuable. Heck, Mark Sanchez had a little extension of his career despite not a butt fumble fame, helping continue that. So I do think Cooper Rush checks off that type of box there. I think that's in part how Josh Johnson has hung around the league with so many different teams for so long. It's how Chase Daniel somehow keeps getting signed to do jobs and get paid good money for not doing anything. So Cooper Rush fits that mold of the backup quarterback, even if the physical skill set isn't really what you want out of your have to play 16 games quarterback there. Now, the Cowboys have made public comments about drafting a quarterback, how Jerry wants to draft one every year, and I'm mostly fine with that. Historically speaking, if you want to get a starter, you got to take him in round one. There are always exceptions. Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott, Kirk Cousins, this guy you might have heard of named Tom Brady. But those are the exceptions to the rule of you're going to draft a lot more Stephen McGee's taking a quarterback later. But the upside, even of just getting a good backup quarterback, is worthwhile. That does still merit consideration as you get further along in the draft. With Rush back, whoever you take is quarterback 3 most likely for a year. So now you're kind of in the standpoint of, okay, do you take one in round 2? And nah, I don't think so. Round 3, maybe if Hendon Hooker is there, but I'd feel better about him in the 4th round. I would not be surprised if by the 7th round you do take a quarterback. And maybe you even get yourself into a situation where you sign a UDFA. The quarterback class is not that good this year. Your Stetson Bennett's, your Max Duggins, your Clayton Tunes, your Jake Hainers. Those guys are late round picks. That's just they're limited with some big issues across the board on that standpoint there. So, final question of the day: will the Cowboys still draft a quarterback with Cooper Rush back? Y for yes and for no in the comment section. One more time, if you have not already and you made it all the way through the video, thank you guys. We appreciate that. Make sure you are subscribed. YouTube.com/@CowboysTV. Free videos, even when they look a little bit more like this.